I do think that it's absolutely essential and obviously essential for Western populations to recognize what it is that has made the Chinese state effective in the ways it's been effective over the last 40 years. I mean, I think they have to understand that, because they have to see what it is. It will show them what it is about their own states which have failed to be effective. And actually the respect in which I think the contrast is sharpest isn't just the immediate and perceptible effect on the life chances of the population. It's actually also on the coherence with which the China as a state has addressed the most important problem facing human beings on Earth now, which is how to stop the terrible damage they have done to the globe on which they have to continue to try to live. I think the ecological crisis and the climate crisis are much the biggest dangers to human beings, and they're absolutely relentless. And the reason why the Chinese state has been able to do that, I mean, it might be right to say, and I don't really know because I can't see into the Chinese state, but I mean, it might be true that the reason they've done better from this point of view is because they are more reliably tied to to more deeply committed to improving the life chances of their own population. But I think it's not plausible to me, that really, because I think actually the reason that Western political elites have made such a mess over the last 40 years isn't because they meant to. It's because they didn't understand very well what they were doing. And what is definitely true is that one feature of the structure of Western politics which has made that much likelier to happen is that the nature of political competition in Western electoral democracy prioritizes quite short term. And the Chinese state has shown, I think, a greater capacity to operate with a framework, a time framework, which is much longer. And it is absolutely clear that there's no chance at all of actually rescuing the globe as a, decently humanly habitable space in the long-term future, unless in fact you act coherently over a long period of time. It cannot be done by constantly switching around between different approaches inside a political territory. So my own purely private political preferences in Britain would be for a party which I have more confidence does care about the life chances of most of the population to be in power, and for that party to recognize that it must act politically over a much longer period of time. And I think it's, entirely unclear whether that's possible. So that might be the single decisive respect in which the Chinese state is a fundamentally better sort of state than a Western state. I would think there were other respects in which that was definitely not true. But that is a respect, and it's the most important respect of all, really.